has anyone on Low Value Mail addressed the fact that Tupac's killer has been apprehended?
Dude, I brought that up to Ryan, and that was so since we've been kids, I don't know. I imagine you and I are somewhat similar age, maybe, but like since kids, it's been like almost like a meme before there even were memes about Tupac's killer. And then apparently the
Right.
dude, like he'd been going on interviews for the last 10 years, basically just saying he did it essentially.
I
Like, is it,
mean, and then
or he
he
was
was
at least
on
saying he was
Vlad.
in the car, right? Like he was like, I was in the car, but I don't know who shot Tupac.
He was pretty much saying like he was pretty much. I don't honestly I don't know. Like he was saying too much. Like he just started going on tour. First of all, he was trying to sell a book about it. I didn't understand that. And then they said that they raided a house in Las Vegas. I remember I heard that, and they said it was related to the Tupac case, and it was apparently his house or his baby mother's house or something like that. And
I mean, he's like
yeah,
the classic example where like I don't want to say he wanted to be caught, but it's almost like he wanted the bragging rights to being the guy who killed Tupac, and he like wasn't getting it. I guess if that makes because you would think if you get such a high profile killing murder, especially he's saying
right.
what now that Puff Daddy gave him $1 million to do it.
He's not like I didn't hear him say anything directly. He just be confirming stuff like yes, like he's but like whenever you ask him like a question that he's uncomfortable with, like he'll confirm it in a different way. Like he'll switch up your words
Yeah,
of
but
what
he
you
went on that like
anyway.
DJ Vlad or whatever, like Vlad that dude, and he
Yeah,
legitimately basically was like, "Yeah, I was in the car when it happened,"
and then
and he goes,
I
"He
don't
goes,
know
I don't
how
know
much
who,
you know.
but he's like, I don't know who shot him, but it was not me, but it was one of the other two people."
Do you know about Vlad? Like, have you heard of him before that?
Yeah, of course, yeah, I know. He just does like the
Okay.
interviews, and yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, but do you know like everyone thinks that he's like
No,
possibly a an
I don't.
informant or like
He's
you know
he's like a. They think he's a Fed.
yeah, like no, it's been a whole bunch of people that's been on Vlad and gone to jail and stuff, and but see the whole thing about it is these people be half the time self incriminating themselves on interviews that they
I mean,
do,
it's a
and
huge
then
show. Like, if you look at some of the numbers on his show, you're talking like millions of views. Like, if you go
yeah,
on there and you admit to a crime, I would not be super shocked if you end up like getting in trouble for it.
some of
No,
those some of those views are police departments for sure.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah,
I don't. I mean, I would expect. You would hope that if someone goes and admits to a murder on like a huge podcast, that the especially like a cold case like that the police would at least start looking into it.
yeah, and I think another thing that I heard is that he's like dying of cancer right now.
Oh,
So maybe that's like the reason that he's just letting it all go. I guess.
yeah, that would make more sense. I think some of the DJ Vlad interviews though were from legitimately like 10 years ago. Like cuz when it happened all of like that, hip hop Twitter or whatever, they were all just like, "Yeah, he's been saying it for a decade." Like he's been essentially
Right.
insinuating that he did it for 10 years, but probably for them to actually build a case cuz like they're not going to they're not going to charge him unless they probably are like slam dunk that he's guilty, right? So you have to
Right.
think it's that he is the guy who killed Tupac, and I don't know. We kind of
And
just like
that
are like
it's just
whatever.
crazy because I used to be super big into the Tupac conspiracy theory,
Yeah.
like all about his death. Like he was he got shot on September 7th, and then 7 days later, or six
Wasn't there
days
like
later,
some
he died.
autopsy photo conspiracy? I remember something like that from when I was like a teenager.
Yeah, I think no, I think that's the real autopsy photo. I'm not sure how they got that though.
Because I
I
remember
guess
like
I
that was
never
like in
thought
the
about that.
early days of the internet, and there was like a photo of the Tupac autopsy photo.
Yeah, it was also like it was pretty much like he was on Rotten.com
Yeah, pretty much.
because yeah, he was all cut up.
Yeah, I remember that. But so
But
what was
yeah,
the conspiracy?
Oh, the Tupac. I mean, it was pretty much just like it was like Illuminati type stuff. I mean, he had came out with an album called the Don Illuminati, the 7 Day Theory,
Oh,
and
really?
then so it's yeah, and it's a whole bunch of stuff related to the number seven, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time since I looked at the Tupac stuff for real, but I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I could put the rest now with the arrest of this guy, but
Yeah. It is so funny though, where you have these conspiracy theories, and then you're like, yeah, it just turns out it was the guy who's been saying he's been doing it for the last 10 years, but was the guy who actually did it. All right, that sounds like
right,
fun.
right.
It's definitely less fun than the alternative. But yeah, that's I guess now they just have to find out who killed Big. I wonder if it's the same thing.
I mean, now they saying you right. You had brought up Diddy. A lot of people are talking about Diddy now, I guess. But I mean, I don't know how much, how real that is. Or I presume to get to Diddy, you got to go through so much lawyers and stuff like that.
Well, that was like when Martin
So,
Shkreli was on the show, and he was saying he had the same lawyer that that Puff Daddy had, and he's basically like Puff Daddy was like super guilty of that gun charge and got off because he just spent like $10 million on lawyers or something, and
right. Yeah,
that
they
was that.
say.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's very heavily insulated. Also, you would hope to think, and if Puff Daddy paid $1 million to somebody in the '90s to do a murder, a contract killing, it would have been in cash. So
Right. I mean, you would hope,
you
but
would hope.
you know,
I mean,
it's
I'm
a whole
sure
bunch
the
of
police, like he will. There's no way he'll get any sort of special treatment. Like if he's involved in this, there's for sure they're gonna try and exhaust all
that
those.
would be like the yeah that arrest right there. That would be something to see.